Oh, there's a woman, Ginger.
All right, we are live and in person, I guess. Hello.
We're not in
Um,
person. We're
yeah, I don't
remote.
know. I don't know why I said and, but we are live.
We are live.
Welcome to another episode of the Couch Show. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. Sibling Rivalry. I'm Lynn.
I'm
Ray is
Ray.
making some tea. He'll be on camera in a couple minutes.
I am. I'm making tea, so you're gonna hear
Fuzz
some
jumped out.
noises
He
in the
said, "Hey
background.
guys, hey Fuzz."
Hey, welcome, Fuzz. Hope you
Mhm.
had a great weekend. We did. We had the holiday.
A couple
I had a
holidays.
I had an epic Father's Day.
That's the 20th. It's ranked 20th in holiday popularity.
Which one?
Father's Day.
Are you serious? 20th?
Yes. Yeah. Arbor Day is like 16th.
Oh my goodness. And let me guess. Mother's Day is like ranked number 5,
Hell yeah.
top 5.
Top 5.
It's like right after Christmas.
And so on Father's Day, I had a girlfriend call me and wish me a happy Father's Day. And I had
You
such a good
serious?
laugh. I was like, man, this makes me want to put a post up and just be like, hey, I just want to say happy Father's Day to all you strong ladies out here doing it on your own.
You know, she would have just done that just to put just to kind of throw a jab at me. That was it. That's
Heck
the only
yeah, I
reason
was
why
going to
she was
tag
gonna
you in
do it. She was
everything.
like, I hope Ray sees it, so that way he knows. Like, I probably would have laughed though. I was like, I knew what you were doing, trying to round me up. I'm telling you, man, we live in two different worlds, man. We live in two different worlds.
Yeah, so that was kind of interesting. I actually had 3 different people wish me a happy Father's Day, and this was the first year that anyone's wished me a happy Father's Day.
My
So
God,
I just thought it was kind of funny that that's what we were talking about, and you expressed how you feel about that, and then all of a sudden here I was, receiving praise on
happy.
Father's Day.
Well, I guess you know what? Belated Happy Father's Day, Lynn.
Oh, thank you.
You're doing it. You're so strong and
That's 4
independent.
people now. I guess it's official. I'm a father.
You're you're so strong. Is it maybe maybe you have a strong masculine energy and that's why they hit you up with that Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, it's the power of the sun.
You have
I
strong
embrace it.
masculine
I like the
energy.
masculine side. I
No,
feel
you're
like the
not. You're
masculine
not.
side is more natural to me than my feminine side. Like my feminine side is something I've worked on over the years.
Do you know that that's not really that? I mean, look, if we're talking like biology, right?
Hmm.
You are supposed to be naturally tuned to your feminine side. What you're talking about is literally what they keep harping as a social construct.
Hmm.
That's a social construct that it was put on you at a very young age that you should act masculine. That's not natural. But
I
more
don't
power to
know.
you
I
if you
think
feel
I think
comfortable
it's
with that.
been. I can definitely say it's been a learned behavior.
Hmm.
Um, just I mean, you were my role model growing up, and you're a guy, so like I picked up on a lot from you,
But
and
thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
and I don't know. I feel like when my dad passed away, I kind of stopped crying. That was kind of like the time in my life where I was like, dude, enough. I need to suck it up, stop crying. So I don't know. Since then, like crying's not something that comes like easily to me. And that's something that is often considered feminine, like being like connected with like your emotions and showing your emotions. And it's not that I don't feel the emotions. I'm very good at hiding my emotions.
But in the same sense, like your kids,
Hmm.
they need that connection.
Right.
And if you are in that masculinity, this is why I say that kids need both a mother and a father.
Hmm.
Because whereas, a kid gets hurt and a mom's supposed to run over and be like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. Oh my God, my baby. A dad is the one who assesses the situation. It's like, you hurt? You need to sit down? Because if you hurt, you sit down. You don't keep playing. And then
Right.
the kid's like, no, I'm not hurt. I'm fine. I want to keep playing. You get it? So it's like that's where, the mom is supposed to show that emotion of like, hey, you can come to me whenever you're hurt.
Mhm.
Whereas dad, I don't want to say like dad's supposed to be cold and callous, but they're supposed to be more of like reserved to be able to get you through the most stressful moments, right?
Right.
That's why they say like when there's like a crisis, and it's like there's like a fire in the building and people are like running into walls and stuff, right? That's when you'll see the one guy who's like, hey, let's go out the fire exit,
Yeah.
let's go down the stairs, let's take the stairs. You can't take the elevator. It's like you're supposed to keep that stress, that um calm during stress, right?
Mhm.
But you're saying you got that.
I do. I'm the one who kind of kicks into that think mode of fight or flight. Like, how the hell are we getting out of this situation?
Right.
I'm
And
very
now
analytical.
you're
I'm very
comfortable in
like,
that.
yeah, F
But then
emotions,
you
man.
but then you say
Emotions,
but then you
emotions are a lack of control.
no, you can't say that. You listen, you gotta have your emotions. You gotta have your emotions. You just gotta know how to control. You can't let
That's
your
what I'm saying.
emotions
Being
take
emotional is a
over.
lack of control.
No, you gotta have your emotions. You just gotta control your emotions. You gotta feel when it's time to feel. That's being human.
Right. And that's what I do. And I usually feel like in private or with like my very close friends or, partner at the time. It's whoever I feel I can let that guard down with is the people who actually see like that more feminine side of me, the side of me that does struggle, the side of me that does, carry a lot of weight.
Well, I don't ever really get to see your your feminine side. Like I said, you're very in that masculine. And I presented that because I was like, Lynn, you're very masculine. You sure you don't like
Mhm.
women? And you got mad at me. You were like, what? I was like, because look, it's okay. It's 2022. I don't care. I'm gonna love you either way. I just, that's the vibe you're throwing out. So I was like, look, I'm not shocked if you are because you're very masculine.
Yeah.
First said Juneteenth is the first holiday to divide the country. They had to troll us.
Mm.
I don't know. As a Hispanic, right?
Mhm.
Who in our history we do have slavery, right? That
Mhm.
was, on the island of Puerto Rico, there was slavery, unfortunately. I don't really care. And I don't even
Mhm.
think about that stuff. Like it brings up like moments like this. Like I don't want a holiday. I don't want extra holidays. I feel like how many more holidays do we need to keep with this victim mentality?
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know. To me, it's sad. Really, it is. It's sad that we're they're celebrating a time in history that was tragic, and we should just, I don't say forget about it, and I guess that's why they have the holidays so that you don't forget and we don't do it again. But there was many races that were treated as slaves.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. To me, it's sad. I want us as a nation. I want us to heal the division, and I want us to move forward. And to do that, we got to stop harping on the past. We really got to
Mhm.
stop harping on the past. Because if not, if we don't stop harping in the past, we're gonna have something like that episode of Atlanta where they made white people have to pay for the sins of their fathers, and that's just, I don't want that either. I
Right.
don't want that. I don't want that. That's all I gotta say for Juneteenth. I don't really want to talk about it too much. You gotta dive around. You gotta. But you know what? I learned from mom. I'm not gonna be sensitive anymore. I'm gonna say my piece. I
Yeah.
say it in a tactful way. I'm not being insulting. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. It's my opinion, and I think I'm entitled to have my opinion. Which a lot of people's like, no, if your opinion doesn't align with us, we're gonna cancel you.
You're right.
That's the scary part.
Yeah. So I mean, Sunday was Father's Day, and then Monday was Juneteenth observed.
Right.
So Monday was, I guess, really the official holiday. Um, we went to a water park. We had a great time. We
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed the fact that it was around us, our community around us, made certain changes for that. The kids had no school.
Right.
The water park was open because, up to
Beautiful day.
now they've been closed
Oh,
during the week. They've only
beautiful
been
day.
open on the weekends. So, you know,
Me and my boys, we got there early, and let's just say I was a little inebriated by the time Lynn got there, so I was all like very reserved around everybody because I was like, I'm not trying to make a fool out of myself. But it was good times. It was good times. It was good times, but it led me to
today's
come up with
topic.
today's topic. Yeah, because I don't know. It's like I told Lynn, she's like a little social experiment for me right now. And I told her, it's like, it's neutral. I'm neutral. It's neither good nor bad. I'm just
Yeah.
curious. I'm just curious. So that's what led to today's topic. I think we spoke about it in the past. And we're just going to kind of dive into it because it was like, and I'll explain to where I'm coming from too, because, at certain points in my life, should we just go into the topic, or
Yeah, let's just
do
go
we
into
want
it.
to talk more current affairs and stuff like that?
Today's topic.
Because
It
it's
was
funny
the
because,
city mouse and
well,
the country
going
mouse.
back into the Juneteenth, it was ironic that there was a big celebration. It was like a 3-day concert event down in the DC area,
Hmm.
and you won't hear this on the news, right? It was a big event, but there was a mass shooting, I think, yesterday or Sunday, due to the event. But they won't
Oh,
talk
what
about
the
that.
hell?
They won't talk about that mass shooting.
Hmm.
Just watch the narratives. Watch what they talk
But
about.
what's the context? What, it was just at the event, like there was
Yeah,
just.
people just popping off. So it was
Okay,
the
so it
concert, I
rose
believe.
from people who were at the
Yeah,
event.
well, it's like, every time there's a Hot 97 concert, there's always going to be shooting, right? You know that. Same thing where, like, whenever there's the Puerto Rican Day
Wah,
Parade,
wah,
somebody's
wah,
getting
wah,
raped,
wah,
right?
wah, wah. Wah, 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 wah.
Right? I mean, if I'm lying, call me out on it, but that's how it always is, right? Um, so it was a 3-day event. It was a 3-day weekend event. It started Friday. So I think it was
Mhm.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I know Pharrell was there. It was some dope
Okay.
names. I was like, man, I should have went. But then after I heard the shooting, I was like, I'm glad I didn't go.
Right.
I was like, damn, they popping off right
Yeah, my
now.
girlfriend's always invited me to like the different events like that. They have like fairs and those just music. She's into music.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yeah, don't, because don't. And we'll talk about it because this all
it's
leads
not
into
really
the
my
topic.
scene.
Listen, this leads all into the topic, and this is the stuff we gotta kind of like call out because I'm like,
Mhm.
listen, like we could have, when a white guy go crazy and starts popping off, it's national news, right? CNN picks it
Mhm.
up, CBS picks it up, everyone picks it up, right? But then, Chicago every weekend they're shooting. Nobody talks about it.
Right.
This big event with Pharrell, shootings going through. Nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
None
There's
of
too
the
many
news talks
elements,
about
too many things going on.
it. Mm-hmm. Mm.
Yeah, so I did go to one event. It was like an outdoor multi-stage, a bunch of vendors. I saw the Jamaican guy perform that does that song that I was just referencing.
So
He did that
I'm curious.
song.
I'm curious though because I listen. I love all those events, right? I love
Mhm.
the island boy in me loves all island music. Like I'm constantly listening to reggae, soca, right, reggaeton, all the I'm constantly listening to all that stuff, and I would love to see it live. But I
Mhm.
think me, just the way I am, I'm so reserved that I'll probably be like watching it all from a distance because I'm not trying to get into all that commotion. Because for whatever reason, I don't understand why, but people just love to fight. Like you look at somebody
Right.
the wrong way, and they're like, "Yo, what are you looking at my girl? What are you doing? Let's fight. Let's do this." Like I don't understand that whole like hyper machismo. Like gotta throw hands. Like the only
Yeah.
reason why I would fight right now in my life is if you're threatening my kids.
Right.
That's
Right.
it. That's the only reason why I would go ape shit. And I've been in fights where I've gone ape shit. So I know, like, if I'm getting into a fight, I'm slamming somebody's head into something.
Right.
Like I'm like this is getting serious, which I've done that. Like this guy, when I was in the Marines, and I was out in Cali, and I was in my C school. So it's after you go for your first school, right? They send you to your other like specialization school, and so
Uh-huh.
we're out there. And this kid, this is like this white kid who kept messing with me, like he pushed me to my patience, my tolerance, right? And so I forgot what he did. We were like marching to the class, and he did something stupid that triggered me. So there was these turnstiles, and
Hmm.
as he went into this turnstile, I held it so he got stuck in the cage, and then I
Okay.
reached in, right? I reached into the bars. And I just start slamming his head into the side of the cage. Yo, his
Oh,
whole face was
shit.
jacked, bro. His whole face was jacked. And then I had to go through all my command. They were ready to like court martial, kick me out,
Oh
all this shit. They were like
man.
failure to adapt, all this shit. And then another thing too, like when I get into fights, I get so like when I really get like into a fight, I'll be
Hmm.
crying. I'll be crying from
Yeah.
like just the anger, like, like
Yeah.
hulking out and shit.
Oh shit. That's when I cry too, when I'm pissed.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be like just straight like but you see,
It's
I'm
so
not
funny because we
fighting.
started. So I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't really tap into that emotional side, but like if I'm
No, I
pissed,
tapped into that anger, man. And it's like I'm not just fighting
mm,
that guy. I'm fighting like every guy.
it's almost like
Every
it builds up pressure, and like the only
it
thing your
does.
body
It
can do
does.
is
It's
like
like every fight that
start
I ever
leaking,
walked away from, I feel bad for the guy who triggers me because I'm going off on that
right?
dude.
Going lost of Mohicans.
Yeah, for real. So I'm like, I gotta control that because I know I lose my shit, man. There's been some furniture that I took my abuse because I'm just like, so I know I got a bad temper, right? I get
Hmm.
that, that's in our blood. We got that hot blood. But I've been in scenarios where I don't know, guys just want to check you, right?
Hmm.
And I diffuse the situation with humor. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I see it, I size them up. I'm like, look, bro, you know who's going to be the alpha guy in here? The alpha guy is the guy who's going to take the lead of the situation and make sure it doesn't happen to where you're trying to drive it.
Hmm.
And the fact that I can now take you, that you want to throw hands on me and make you start laughing, and now you're my best friend, guess who played you?
Right.
So I'm good with that. But I don't understand why people just want to start fighting all the time, especially when you're at an event where you're supposed to have a good time and have fun.
I definitely feel like at an event, there's just so much more people, and there's the crowd. And some people just don't feel comfortable in that. Some people feel like they have to, like, peacock. They have to show their
Mm-hmm.
strength in those kind of events.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Let me take it a step back because the other day I was out with my boy and we were at like an Irish bar and I was the only brown color like minority in that spot
Hmm.
and like it was a we were in the bigger room, so it was like a restaurant Irish bar kind of deal, and then at
Hmm.
night they would take the tables up and then they would have like a band perform. So we were in the other room because he wanted to see his friend perform that night, and then the bar side, they got into a bar fight. And they were
Hmm.
just brawling back and forth. We saw it. We're like, oh shit, what's going down? Cops came. I was like, well, I guess we got to go. They're going to shut this thing down. And they're like, no,
Hmm.
no, the cops, they'll be here and then they'll stay open. They'll stay open. I'm like, I'm not used to that. I'm like, the spots I go to, they shut that shit down. I was like,
Right.
wait, they stay open? So I was just kind of like tucked in the corner, right? And I was just watching the whole thing go down. The cops came. They friendly escorted the white dudes out. They talked to them. They were like all at them. Nobody got arrested.
Hmm.
The place didn't shut down. I was like, this is okay. This is different here.
I experienced that once when I went to Miami. So I had like an evening flight to Miami. So it was after work, headed to the airport, took the flight,
Mm-hmm,
landed, and it was probably like maybe like 10 p.m. So
mm-hmm.
landed, was traveling with my boyfriend. We had friends pick us up from the airport. We get in the car and they have drinks ready for us. So
Oh
we're
shit!
drinking on the
Just
way to the
straight
club.
partying.
We get there. We get there and like there are like three cop cars. There's like a fight and like the New Yorkers and us, we were like, oh, like I guess like that's
It's
it. We're not gonna be
over.
able to go to the
Yeah.
spot. The locals were like, no, 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 just give it a couple minutes. We walked past the police
Mm-hmm.
into the spot. Party was lit. It was a great night.
Yeah. Like times that we went out. Like how many times like LQ got shut down, Coco
Yeah.
Bongo got shut down.
Everyone
Like it
gets
was
shut
just a
down.
fight. The second a fight breaks out, that's it. Night's over. You got to go to the next spot.
Hmm.
That's it. That club shut down. And it was like they didn't shut down. I mean, this was in Jersey, and we partied in Jersey before. So
Hmm.
I'm like, I guess it's two different worlds. Now I don't know if like is that what they call racism? Is that racism, or is that
What is
that's just
racism?
knowing? Is it racism?
Wait, I don't know your question. Like, in what
All right,
context?
the fact that the Irish bar that was majority white didn't get shut down, but then the
Hmm.
Latin spot gets shut down when that
Mm.
fight breaks out. Is that racism or is
It could
that
be. It
just
could be, but more of a.
or is there more stats that we gotta take a look at? Like
Well,
how many
so this is what
times
I'm
does the
thinking. This is
police?
what I'm thinking. I feel as though, like, if a Latin or a cultured spot has a fight, they're not gonna let it go. Like, even if you take out the two people who fought, their people are gonna
Other
want to fight
people are
the
gonna
other
fight,
people. Like,
right?
it's a more rowdy crowd,
See, I'm
and I
glad
could
you
be
could see
wrong. I
that.
don't
I'm
know. There's
glad you
just
could
pure
call
assumption. I
it
guess
out.
I'm being racist
Plus,
over here. I don't know.
the way I see it too is like, you know what? All right, maybe that Irish spot because we went back like I think we went like a week or like a few weeks later. We went
Hmm.
back and we were talking to the bartender and she was like, "Oh, you guys were here for that?" And we're like,
Hmm.
"Yeah." And so we kind of talked about it. And she was like, "Yeah, that was like the first fight in like years." So I'm
Mm.
like, "Okay, that makes sense now. Like the cops
Yeah,
haven't been there for a minute." Whereas I know Coco Bongos, man, the cops are always there.
every week,
That shit was
every
rowdy. That
weekend,
shit was rowdy out in the streets, man.
every
When
weekend by
people,
2 a.m.
that's what I'm saying. Like Coco Bongos, when that shit closed down,
Hmm.
that party was like just spewed out in the streets. People were partying in the streets. People were
Yeah.
turning on their cars and sound systems, and they were just. It was like a block party at 2 in the morning. They're like,
Hmm.
"Yo, you gotta go home." So like, I get like statistically, they're like, "Look, it's better if we just shut it down, so we don't have to." Like you said, other fights break out.
Right.
Because where was that one spot we went to? It was like a New Year's party we went to where fights just kept breaking out.
Where was this?
It was one year we went to a New Year's party. It wasn't the big names. It was like another name. We went and
Was it the year that we got there mad early? Like, we got there before the ball dropped, and then we learned, like, hey, you don't go out
yeah,
before the
usually
ball
yeah,
drops.
yeah,
You're supposed to do that
exactly.
shit
Yeah,
at
it was
home.
like that as well. But you don't remember that they like fights just kept breaking out.
I don't
There was like
remember.
3 fights that night. I'm like, yo, this is how you guys bring it into New Year.
Holy crap.
I was like, yo, this shit's gonna be rough. Oh, excuse me. Hmm. Hmm.
The street is watching. She is watching all the time. If you let a man disrespect you and you don't retaliate, nature will disrespect you over and over again.
Yeah, that's the mentality of the street.
Mm.
I don't see it that way.
Hmm.
Like maybe look, um, well, all right, let's take it a step back. My whole life, right, I was very insecure. I was always caring about what other people think. I mean, to this day, you see it. You saw it yesterday. There's times where I still get shy. I get
Hmm.
socially awkward sometimes. Like I stay quiet and I'm observing and everything. And so I've always was like, my biggest fear was like people wouldn't like me, right?
Hmm.
Like oh, people won't like me. People won't like me. But now that I'm like, I don't care about any of that stuff anymore. I really don't. And like, I don't understand how there's like this street code where people are like, yo, you gotta represent. Like it's almost like if you don't fuck that dude up, your homies are gonna look at you like lesser than. Like I never
Right.
understood that. Like I never understood that. It's like, yo, I don't know. Once again, it's the street law. Yeah, that's what it's street law.
Mhm.
I get it, and I've seen
I
it.
mean,
We've seen it with our
it's definitely
family.
something that typically occurs in like more in like higher populated areas. And I feel as though there's not, because there's less space around, there's less turf. There's
Mhm.
more of that feel, that need to kind of like protect what's yours, to be like, no, this is mine. This is my area. This is my
Which
territory.
I never understood that because once again, um, if you grow up in an urban area, right?
Hmm.
Most of the time it's shitty. Look, we lived in the projects,
Right.
right? When we lived in the city, it was shitty. There was
Right.
nothing there that I want to take pride of. If anything, when my stepdad, your father, took us out of the city, and for the first time, I saw darkness. I was like, "Yo, this is creepy as all hell." I mean, that was like the best opportunity ever. And now, look, let's get into the topic. So, what I sent Lynn. So yesterday we had an amazing day, but then I woke up this morning and I woke up booty earlier. Me and Lynn, we woke up at the same time. We woke up like around
Yeah.
what, four, right?
Yeah.
And I was just laying in bed, and my mom was just thinking, and I was just thinking and thinking, and I was just like wondering, really it was about you. I was just wondering, why are you so drawn to a certain something, right? When you were raised with something different.
Hmm.
And so I was trying to get a good analogy going. And so that's where we came up with the title of today's show. So what I looked up, and the old story of the country mouse and the city mouse, right?
Hmm.
They were cousins, right? But they were from two different environments. And the moral of the story was, in this fable, the moral is a simple life in peace and safety is preferable to a life of luxury tortured by fear. It means that the country mouse would rather live in country where it's quiet and simple instead of the nice and luxurious life in the city where it's dangerous. So, to summarize, where I'm getting with all of this is your friend,
Hmm.
beautiful people. Beautiful people. I had a laugh with her husband. We were joking and everything. He has that Jamaican accent that I love. He reminds me of
Yep.
Mr. Wilson. And she's a beautiful person too. You know how I know? Because she has a good heart. Because she opened her doors, right?
Hmm.
Right there. She saw me and my kids. She complimented my kids. She was like, "Oh, his kids are so well behaved." Blah blah blah. And then she fed my kids. And for anybody to do that, break bread with me and my family, you're part of my family instantly,
Yeah.
right? The fact that you're taking your resources, your hard-earned resources, and you're sharing it with my family, that means a lot to me. So, but she's still a city mouse.
Hmm.
And then when I say that, Lynn knows it. She got that smile on her face. And I don't understand that because I see you and I know where you came up from.
Hmm.
You're a country mouse. They know you're a country mouse.
Yeah.
They laugh at you. They're like, yo, Lynn's so prepared. They're like, thanks, Lynn. She had all the
Yep.
towels. You were like the mom. She's like, Lynn's like my mom. And they love you for that, but you are the country mouse. And I don't understand. I mean, we talked about it. It was that whole danger feeling. Like you need that danger in your life. Not
Hmm.
me. I don't like being safe. Not me. I love being safe. I love being the country mouse. As you could see, I always thought I was a city boy, and then eventually life kept driving me here, and now this is my life right here.
Hmm.
And if anything, I'd rather move from here to like a beach somewhere and be by the water and be an island boy. But at the end of the day, I'm still a country mouse. I love the safety and security of the country, and I don't know, I don't understand that whole urban lifestyle where, like we said, earlier in the show, you always gotta be having an eye, looking in your back. Like, who's back there? If
Right.
I look back there now, I'm gonna see a gopher or a bear. That's okay. I mean, that's dangerous in its own
Ma said
sense,
there was
but
like snow behind you. So if you look behind you, you're gonna see some snow.
snow. Oh, because it's so. If I
It's
sit
washed
back,
out.
doesn't it get a little focused in?
Yeah.
I'm glad because like the boys just finally, they just get the first cut for the lawn,
Hmm.
and that's like
But they
the
finally
dead.
finished. You said they were out there for a while, right?
Yeah, they're learning. They're
You
learning.
know,
They're gonna have listen. They're gonna
you
learn
gotta
that you
start
can't leave a little
somewhere.
stripe on a haircut. They're learning. They're learning. But all the dead grass is out there, so it's like turning into hay. So it looks bad out there. So I'm glad that it's all washed out. It looks like
Yeah.
oh, because if you actually saw it, it'd be like hey. So yeah, so I am. I don't get you sometimes. You're like an enigma I can't solve.
Uh huh.
Because when you listen on here, as you can see, Lynn sounds very educated. She has a very good vocabulary. She's very analytical, right? But
Hmm.
when she's out there, when you should have seen her yesterday. She could tap into that city mouse real quick.
Hmm.
Night and day. It's like a light switch for her. She turns it on and off.
And you know what? Even growing up, like I had friends and stuff, but like the period of time where like Ma and I were going to the city every weekend, what I love that. I used to hang out with my cousins in the city. Like I enjoy that like fast pace, like high stakes kind of um fun.
Man, I
Yeah.
remember this one time when I had my BB gun.
Hmm.
I was so excited. I bought like a CO, BB gun,
Hmm.
and I took it to the city. And, our one cousin, who's crazy.
Oh Lord. Okay.
We're going through, the projects and all that, and he's loving this thing, right? He's like pop pop pop, but then of course it took it from like something sensible, like, oh, let's just shoot a tree or something, to him
Hmm.
shooting like tombstones and windows and shit. And I'm like, bro,
Mm.
what? Like taking it to that extra level. Like, why is it always things got to be taken to that extra? Like, why we got to cross those lines? And
Yeah.
he shattered. He shot straight at one of the project windows, and it shattered like the security window.
Holy
I was like,
crap.
oh, those shit's bulletproof. And
Evidently
then
not.
of course, then we had to take off. We started like bucking
Hmm.
through the projects, and I'm like, I don't like this. I'm like, we're doing it, and like you're like, oh, this is exciting. This is dope. It gets your adrenaline rushing. And I'm like, no,
Hmm.
I don't like this. I don't want to get caught doing this shit.
I'm definitely not. I'm definitely not walking the shoe of a BB gun, breaking windows and shit. I'm not walking around with spray paint and graffiti, tagging everywhere. I'm not doing all that. I feel like
Maybe.
there is a line. There is a line, and I don't cross that line, man. I'm not trying to be a bad person. I still have my morals, and it's funny because one of my friends asked me the other day. He was like, "Why are you so formal? Why you always sound so formal?" But the fact is, like, that's been my life. That's been my life for however many years I can think of. Especially
Yes,
the
because
7 years where I was working at Enterprise, where I was really the majority of my day was working as a customer service, like the front of the company, forward facing asset. Like, so it's been just my normal vocabulary for a long time.
hmm
Um, and I appreciate it. I don't want to sound, ghetto or hood or uneducated. I would hate to sound uneducated, but there is a formality to me that I don't know how to switch off. I'm just super formal. I don't know.
But when you get around that, you do embrace
I
that.
lost my formality.
Yeah,
I'm like
you
proud of
listen.
myself. You have no idea.
You definitely know. It's like you're a chameleon. I said this before. It's like you're a chameleon, and when you get around that, you definitely like, all right, this is what the crowd's doing. And then the
Mm-hmm.
second you're around, like for example, this show, and you're around me, right? You're all proper, good vocabulary, right? Very analytical. And then when she's like a different crowd, she merges with the crowd.
Hmm. Hmm.
City
City people
people
got
got
no
got no
morals. If
morals.
someone can take an
So
inch, city folk will take a mile.
yes, and you know what? That's the sad part, because if we look at what's going on, in the political landscape, right?
Hmm.
Like right now, I don't know if you heard over the weekend, Texas GOP came out and said that the 2020 election was illegitimate, and they're putting forward to see if they can succeed from the U.S. So they want to
Hmm.
separate. They want to
Holy
create
crap.
their own Texas' own little nation, right?
Hmm.
And so they're putting that up. I think it might go up to the next election, and it's up to the Texan voters to say, yeah, we want to secede. Because when the 2020 election rolled out, Texas and a bunch of other states, they proposed, they had a case where they wanted to go up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court was like, we don't want to hear this. They shot them
Hmm.
down. They denied them and all that. So they're talking about it. It's all in the news now. And I'm like, when I see Texas, I think they'll be all right. I think the parts that are going to have a hard time, if there is conflict and hostility like people are talking about here in the US, I think the places that are going to have a hard time is the urban areas.
Hmm.
And you know why? Because that goes back to what we've always been talking about, where um, smaller communities tend to know the community.
Right.
Whereas in the urban area, people tend to not know each other. It's
Right.
all a bunch of strangers. You can't trust nobody. So what when you can't trust nobody, what's going to happen? Chaos. Like in an urban area, I mean, in a smaller town, smaller community, the fact that everybody knows each other, they can start working and saying, "Hey, what's your skill set? What can we do? Let's try to, let's let's use so and so's property to try to grow some vegetables, right? Or
Hmm.
let's make a garden. Let's do this. Let's kind of work together, right? Because they know each other. They grew up with each other, right? Whereas urban areas, I don't know. And then the fact that everything is trucked in,
Yeah.
there's no space for anything. I see if there was a conflict, like people are saying that's going to happen, I
Mm.
see the urban areas going to be the first ones to fall.
Mm.
That's my opinion. And then like the Midwestern area, they'll be fine. They'll be like, man, we've been living without y'all
Yeah, they've
all
been
this
living
time.
without
We're all
us.
right.
They have so much land in between them. They
Yep.
definitely have weapons out there, like they're like,
Hmm.
"Psh,
We'll be fine.
we're fine."
We'll be fine. If
Yeah, I
you're
keep
not
getting
team,
ads. I keep
you're
getting
not
ads
trying.
to visit like Montana or something. I'm like, oh geez.
You know what? Honestly, I've actually studied because what was it? It was Yellowstone. I was watching that show Yellowstone, and I was like,
Hmm.
man, like a part of me wants to go and do that like rancher lifestyle. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Because I don't know. To me, it's like that masculine energy. And I'm like, oh, I want to tap into that. I want that
yeah.
challenge,
It's
and then
from
be
catching
able to
bits
say
and
I
pieces
did
of
it.
Mas
Right?
novelas over the years.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah.
You see the horseback riding and the
Man,
dude on
I've
the horse
always
and all
wanted to be like La Patrona, riding the horse, just be badass.
that. But
Did everybody put this up here? If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
no, but I
Yellowstone
did
is
read it.
underwater. Park closed indefinitely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that was what last week that they had all the flooding and people had to be evacuated.
Really, I didn't hear
Yeah.
about that.
It was recent. I want to say it was last week.
Isn't there something like Yellowstone is like a possible volcano? Like I saw something where it's like if Yellowstone erupts or something like that.
Yeah,
I was
crap.
like,
I don't
what?
know.
Is it
That's
a
definitely
volcano? I
clickbait.
didn't know it was a
You
volcano.
and you and your headlines. That was definitely clickbait.
I should have clicked it and read it, right? But no, I was just like, that's interesting. No, I just can't because I hate the look. It's like I clicked on was it? It was a story. Oh, on the whole Texas thing, right? So I clicked on a story with CBS, and just the adjectives that they like to use in the story, I was like, this is opinionated. Why am I reading
Mhm.
this? It's like
Yeah.
this is why I just read the headlines. Like I can't read the story because then it makes you feel a certain type of way.
Mm.
And since I know what they're trying to do, it just makes me angry when I read shit like that. It's like, why are you trying to brainwash me? Why are you trying to make me
Right.
feel a certain type of way? It's like the big narrative is like, oh, that there wasn't any tampering. There wasn't any tampering. But there's evidence coming out. There's a documentary that came out that shows that it's clear tampering. And
Mm.
all the people wanted was an audit, a fair audit. And nobody
Yeah.
wanted to do that. So doesn't that raise a couple of alarms and a couple of flags when you don't want to do a simple audit? Like this is the
Hmm.
process that we're supposed to determine our leaders, and you want us to have trust in the system, but you don't even want to do an audit to show trust in the system.
Hmm.
And it was here in my own state. It was here in my own state, and I'm sadly, unfortunately, I'm kind of bummed about that. That it was over here in in my state. It led to that because I was like, I don't know, but it is what it is. And I think the reason why the Supreme Court, didn't want to hear Texas was because they didn't really want to deal with it. How could they deal with it? All right,
Yeah.
so this guy's not legitimate, but then you have half of America, just like frothing at the lips, hating that orange man, right?
Hmm.
they can't even watch Willy Wonka without getting triggered, right? Every time a Oompa Loompa comes up, chomp, chomp.
They were selling mail-in ballots in the city for $100.
Hmm.
That's
People were
insane.
saying people were saying that they were getting mail-in ballots at their old address, and they haven't lived there for like 10 years.
Mm.
People who passed away voted. How's that even possible? I like that's zombies are voting now.
Which is crazy because they like scrutinize the process is so scrutinizing. When it comes to voting in person.
Mm-hmm.
So for them to, allow these things to kind of go through the cracks, like as you're saying, like people who like passed away voted, like come on,
Mm-hmm.
because
And so,
in order to to vote, you have to register in your area, and if you move, I think it's as long as you notify the post office of your move, like they notify the ballot. Like I got something new in the mail. I didn't even have to update my my voter information. I just got a new card in the mail when I moved. And like you have to go to a certain spot. You can only go to like a certain voting location. You can't go to, the next town over.
yeah,
And you have to have ID and you have to sign in and like
that
it's a whole process. So how the
that's
hell?
how it is for me here. I got a specific voting location. They have my name, and I got to show ID.
Hmm.
But it's like I don't see. But then they were doing like the mail-in ballots could come in. They were accepting mail-in ballots after election day. There was a lot of questionable stuff, and I see what Texas's argument is. Is that it's like, look, we find it illegitimate because various states, which they pose, they proposed that they were like various states didn't follow the federal guidelines.
Mm.
So how can we acknowledge, you know, what other states are doing? So it's I'm curious to see what's going to happen because we've been down this road before in history, right? This is what led to
Hmm.
the Civil War. So it's like, are we currently in a civil war? Are we fighting a futuristic, the next wave of warfare, which is right now, the internet, social media, you know, and are they winning because they have the narrative, right? They have everything. They're censoring everything, right? They, they,
Hmm.
they got cancel culture. They got all this stuff, which I started hearing a lot. Like there's more and more companies now that are pushing back against the whole woke mindset, which that's
Hmm.
good to hear. I'm liking that. Like they're putting out memos saying like, look, we're losing money. You can't if you're a complainer, you want this woke ideology, go work somewhere else. We heard it with Netflix, and there's another company. I forgot the name of it. It was briefly before we came on that I saw it, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool that they're pushing, to get away from this.
Hmm.
So is it like are we starting to see the pendulum swing the other way, which is good, but it's a little too late. Like, are we going to start seeing people, when they're not getting what they want, they're going to start taking to the streets?
Hmm. The next civil war are people with cyber implants and people without cyber implants.
You know what? I agree in a sense. I do feel like we're gonna get to a point where, and this goes back to the whole metaverse. Like we were talking about the whole metaverse, and we were talking about how people are gonna be all connected into the metaverse. I feel like this is all gonna start with the whole social credit score. You heard like that's coming out, right? Where it's
Hmm.
like you say certain things and you can start downtrending. Did you know talking about the social credit score, did you know that your insurance company takes a look at your Facebook profile and they factor that into your insurance premium?
What? Why?
Because that's where
Why?
we're
I'm so
leading to.
confused. First off, what kind of insurance? Health insurance, auto insurance? What are we talking about here?
All of them. If your profile is out there in public and they can see it, they do that. They see like what kind of risk are you?
Hmm.
And this is all going to lead into that whole social credit score, where it's like your social footprint is what's going to determine your everything else, everything
Yeah.
else you do in life. And so you could be. It was like there was an episode of Black Mirror on Netflix. They kind of talked about this, where people would rate each other, right? And if you were like a 3 star, people would just see you like a blur image because you were such a low rating, and you could only hang out with the 3 star people. And so you
Hmm.
would always constantly trying to make sure that you would keep like a 4 star and like life was great. You had all the great stuff in life. And then all of a sudden, um, there's one girl, she was like, get this, it's stressful. I don't want to deal with this. And so people started giving her low stars and then she got blurred out. But then she felt more free that way though, ironically, right? So I see where Fuzz is going with it because I could see people in the metaverse like, oh, life is great and everything, and then the people the haves and have nots, it's gonna they're gonna be like, why am I doing this shitty ass job to maintain the metaverse when I don't even get to go in the metaverse, right?
Right.
Or like you're doing this shitty ass job and you're just getting like a little widget in the metaverse when you see this guy who has like all this land of property. Do you know there's people buying property already in the metaverse?
Yeah.
And the property is going more, virtual property is going for more money than actual property.
Which how stupid is that? Because the metaverse isn't even a thing yet.
They're building it.
Yeah,
And the companies that get it
but
first,
them building it, like, let's be realistic. Like, them building it, what does that even mean? You know, it's still a concept. It's still, you know, a growing idea, and people are already pouring money into it, man.
Well, think about all right. So, what would be the ultimate end goal of the metaverse, right? Something like Ready Player One. That's the only thing I keep using that example because that's the only thing I could think of that would be the metaverse, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what it in the movie, you know, did you see Ready Player One? You saw
I did.
It, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what did the big CEO in Ready Player One? What did he want to do? Spoiler alert. He wanted to have advertisement. So as the more people, you know, were in the metaverse, they would see this advertisement. They would buy things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the original creator of the metaverse, he just wanted a place where people can have a good time.
Right.
He was like, look, life sucks. I want the metaverse so that you can be whatever you want to be. And so he was like, no, he locked it so you couldn't do all this advertisement. And he was like, well, we win it, we're going to do all this advertising and all that. So that's what these companies are doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about the test bed of the metaverse right now, it's Fortnite. Look at Fortnite. Look at all the characters and all the packs they sell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Disney, Marvel, they're all in there. DC Comics, they're all in there making killing off of these virtual, you know, creatures, right? These virtual characters. Think about in our day, right? We had action figures. I had action figures. You had dolls, right? We had toys. We had physical toys. We would go to Toys R Us. We'd actually buy these toys and play with physical toys, right?
Yeah.
Toys R Us is gone, bankrupt. And where's the virtual toys? I just had a birthday. We just had a birthday. What did I give? I give you know the digital money.
Yeah.
And they're buying these digital skins. Like, oh my god, I want the Batman. That's kids today. That's their form of an action figure.
Okay, I see the connection you made there. Oh, whoops, didn't mean to do that. Ma said, happy first day of summer. And to go back to me being a chameleon, she was like, oh, that there's a saying in Spanish that says, al sitio que fueras, haz como vieras. So it's like, wherever you go, that's how you're going to behave.
You see my Cookie Monster?
Oh, I see Cookie Monster. He's eating cookies. He's stuffing his face. He's throwing all the crumbs in at the bottom of the bag. There's still more in the bag. He's just tossing them in.
No. I gotta get some Elmo socks so that I could rock one Elmo and one Cookie Monster.
All right, there's pictures of you driving fast cars and drinking alcohol. Insurance agents will raise your rates.
Exactly.
The hell?
Yes. And people don't know this. People are so stuck to social media, and they're so stuck to that's their lifestyle. And I'm not talking about influencers. I'm just talking about just regular, like my friends.
Yeah.
Your friends. They're so stuck on social media that they don't even know that they're telling on themselves through social media.
Mm-hmm.
So right, Fuzz is 100% right. Somebody who loves to party and is constantly putting posts on that, I guarantee they have high rates. Guarantee it. Because they're a high risk.
There's the man sticking it to you every turn, man.
Yeah. So all this is building up to eventually, you know, we're going to have that social credit score. We're all going to be in the metaverse. And if you don't, you know, tout the message, follow the narrative, you know, stay in line, they're going to isolate you to a shitty part of the metaverse.
Damn. That's not the part of the metaverse I want to be in.
You're going to be in the metaverse, and your character, instead of being like the buffed up character you want to be, oh, I want to be Superman, I want to be Batman. No, you're going to be the little Among Us character because you've been isolated. You got the little backpack and the little mask, and you'll be the Among Us character.
We're not going to address the fact that your little curly head kid just walked behind you.
It is what it is. I just take the moment, let it happen. If you adjust it, it's gonna happen again and again. Oh, I got a job. I got a phone interview too for a job.
Something
Ooh.
online?
Yeah, it's working from home.
Okay.
Stop.
Very good.
So yeah. So it's been an hour. Do you want to reintroduce the show?
Yeah. Anybody new to the channel? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're sibling rivalry. We're siblings. I'm Lynn.
I'm Ray.
That way, I finally mirrored myself, and now I'm like thrown off. I'm like, oh wait, no, I'm mirrored again. Um, yeah, so we created this channel because we're free thinkers. We think differently. We were brought up differently, and we want to share this energy that we have. We have this like contagious, just positive outlook on life that everything's gonna be okay. So we're givers of love. We're givers of, um, good vibes through conversation. Oh, my notifications are all popping up. I'm trying to run a show here.
So another thing I was thinking about last night too was the duality of life.
Mm-hmm.
I know we talked about this before. It's like, but I'm seeing a lot of parallels of it. So for me, the most obvious duality of life is good versus evil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And if you're religious, you believe in God and you believe in the devil, right? So I was watching this TV show called Evil, which goes through all that, right? But then I noticed that a lot of shows nowadays are talking about like that alternate universe.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, Stranger Things. They have the upside down world,
Yeah.
right? And then there's other movies and shows that have been capitalizing on that, or the metaverse, right? Not the
Mm-hmm.
yeah, not the metaverse. The
I mean,
alternate
I'm starting to
realities.
see
Yeah,
metaverse like ads, and I'm like, what the hell is this even telling me?
yeah. Like you had Doctor Strange into it, right? And the alternate realities and all that. And it's just like I don't know, like my mind starts going down that rabbit hole. Like, is there actual alternate universe that there's things that that let's just say our government knows that we don't know about, right?
Right.
People say, oh, it's aliens. The government knows about it. They just won't tell us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I saw there was an article that popped up over the weekend where the UK and the US are working together to release information about UFOs.
Mm.
Actually, they got a new name for UFOs. It's not UFOs anymore. It's a UAP.
Okay.
And it's called Unidentified Aerial Phenomena.
Hmm.
That's the new term. So there's like a summit where the UK and the US are going to talk about that. So I'm like, are they eventually going to get to the point where they're like, yeah, there's aliens?
Right.
So then, I see this stuff like that. I'm seeing all this stuff in the media about like alternate reality, the upside down world, all this stuff, right? I'm like, what if they come out and they're like, well, there's aliens and they've been among us this whole time?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, holy shit, that'd be trippy. That'd be
Right.
kind of dope. It's like some of them we can't even see. But there's a whole
See, my mind is automatically going back through like everyone I've like come across in my lifetime. I'm like, could they have been an alien?
Could they have been an alien?
Right.
They're saying there's like the lizard people. That's a whole
Mm-hmm.
conspiracy. Like, oh, the
Yeah,
lizard
but all the
people,
lizard people have made it to like high ranking, as high ranking officials. It's like, oh, the Department of Health. Their like main person looks like a lizard, and like there's a bunch of them. That's just
Isn't
like
the Department of
they
Health the
show
trans
certain pictures of
person?
them, and it's like
Yeah.
they could
Lynn, are
be
you being
aliens,
transphobic? Are you being transphobic? Isn't the Department of Health the trans woman?
Maybe it's not the Department of Health then. I don't know. It's like an older lady, and she looks like a freaking lizard.
Oh, that's so messed up.
Hey,
Department of
Tadashi,
Health
welcome to the show.
secretary. I'm looking it up now because I think that is the trans woman, and that's messed up. You said that she looks like a lizard lady. Damn, Lynn.
You can just look up lizard people. That's all you have to look up, and they'll show you every single one of them.
Yeah, it is. Damn, Lynn, that's messed up.
But does she look like a lizard?
No, she looks like a trans person.
Oh, so it's not the person then. All right. Check out John Carpenter movie They Live.
Oh, that's
Aliens
a
live
good
among
movie.
us.
Yeah, that's a good movie where he put the glasses on and he would
Mhm.
see them and then he would take them off and then put them on and be like, "Oh, you guys see," and nobody would believe him that they were aliens.
Thank you, Tadashi. Just look at the England Queen. Yes. She's
Yeah, for real.
welcome.
She's like old. Like she's been. I don't even think that's her no more. I think it's like an animatronics. You know how like Disney has those really good animatronics? Because she's like isn't she like 100 years old?
Yeah, she's old.
I was watching a video
Still running the show.
where Disney Imagineers, they are working on so you know they added the whole Star Wars like park, and you know unfortunately right now it's all about the sequel movies, which
Mhm.
nobody cares about, right? Everybody's all about the Mandalorian, right? So they're starting to move over to that, and they're working on the puppetry to have like a little portable animatronic for Baby Yoda.
Mhm.
So like as he's walking around, he has a little Baby Yoda, and he's moving and everything. You know, look realistic. And then
Yeah.
they're working on a new robot that can walk by itself. And so the version they had was like a baby Groot, but he was like pretty tall for a baby Groot, right? So they were
Mhm.
saying that that might be like Yoda just walking around the park and stuff like that, just by
That'd be
himself. So I
pretty
was like,
cool.
oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So Disney just has to work with, you know, the UK monarch and be like, yo, let's get your robotic technology.
Mhm.
'Cause
Her
I don't,
her head's in her actual head is inside of a jar somewhere.
yeah.
There's like a row of them. They're all just chatting.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Disney vacation
That's good.
package, 1 month trip to all 7 parks around the world for 100K.
That's crazy.
That's what you do. You bundle it, and people go crazy for bundles. That's amazing.
It was what was it? This Disney Star Cruiser, the one where you can actually go and role play like you're at Star Wars. I think it was
Hmm.
for 2 nights of this storytelling thing. It was like 6 grand.
That's crazy.
And that doesn't include like, you know, your souvenirs, your wardrobe, all that other stuff
Hmm.
that you want to get.
100 grand per person. Holy crap. Man, who want to be immortal?
I
I
don't.
don't. Tadashi said he does not want to be immortal. I don't think, you know what? I thought about this because, like, movies and stuff, they present these ideas. And I feel like being immortal will be terrifying because all your loved ones, you know, are going to
Mhm.
die. So you're going to experience that loss, you know? And, like, it's like you're just stuck here. You're stuck
And
here.
it's
You don't get to see
repetitive.
what happens next.
It's repetitive. So it's like, okay, you lost all those people,
Mhm.
and then either you're
Then you get
isolated.
new people.
Right, right. Either you're isolated and you don't get anybody because you don't want to go through that loss, or
Hmm.
you want to be connected to humanity. You start all over and then you lose them all again.
Again.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't want to do that. Now, another thing that they're talking about is uploading your consciousness up to like a server somewhere. Would you do that?
Hmm.
Like just upload your mind into like and your mind lives on forever or whatever?
I don't know. That's like it's so abstract. It's such a hard thing to really wrap my mind around. I don't know. I don't think I'd be into it.
But it's your consciousness. You wouldn't even know. You're
Yeah,
like,
but
wait a
then will
minute.
my consciousness ever experience like like what happens after death? Like my conscious will never go on to know what that is. To never, you know, we'll never get to the next level. Like what if after we die we're really waking up and we're starting a whole new thing? Like, you
True.
know, like
That is
what?
true. Like your soul is now like, all right, we
FOMO.
shedded our physical form. Yeah, it's like that's what I believe. I'm like, look, we're like right now our bodies is just like we're in a cocoon, right?
Hmm.
And when we die, we become that soul that energy butterfly, right? Your soul lives on and moves on to the next part of life, right? So to just take your consciousness, you're taking your mind. It's almost like when a robot realizes it's a robot.
Right.
Like, wait a minute. I thought I was human, and you know, it's like you've seen those in the movies. Wait, I thought I was human
Hmm.
and I'm a robot. Wait, what? Oh, they start, you know, flipping out. It's kind of like
Yeah,
that.
they start
Like,
ripping their
I
own
don't know what I
faces
want to do.
off and crap. They go
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. And he said, Tadashi said, "LOL, just this 22 years of life made me depressed, and hell, 100 years will make me complete mad." Man, look,
Mm,
I wish I was 22 again. But I wish I was 22 with all the stuff I've learned so far. So, with that said, there's a lot that you're gonna learn. You
yeah.
know, it has look, life goes like this, and if it's not going like this, if it's flatlining, you're not really living. I guess that's the reason why Lynn, who's a country mouse, wants to be around with the city mouse because
Mm,
she wants to live. You know, I get it, but I don't know. Some like I said, life goes up and down. You got to go through your moments. You just gotta everything you're going through in life. You just gotta analyze it and say, what did I learn from that? How do I
mhm.
grow from that? How do I embrace this? And how do I keep moving forward? Like the saying goes, what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to put my life on
Which is
danger like
crazy
that.
because in my mind, Tadashi, I'm like, dude, you're only 22 years old. Like, you haven't even experienced life yet. Like, but I don't know because Tadashi was saying he has like done a lot of traveling. I
Yes,
feel
which
like,
is excellent.
traveling
That's
brings about
awesome.
like almost like, a mental maturity. It opens your mind
Hmm.
to a lot of concepts.
Yeah,
Um,
Tadashi's
dude,
very
you're
mature for
only
his age. To be honest
22.
with you, he's very mature for his age. He's light years ahead of where like I was when I was that age, which is
That's true.
amazing. But with that said, because you're that you're awoken to reality and you see a lot of things, you're gonna take it and you're gonna take it a lot stronger too. Somebody your
Mm,
age, they're like, oh, well, fucking drink this, party, all this, right? But you see a lot more potential to life. And I get what he's getting at too. He sees that potential and he's like, why am I not where I want to be? Or why can't I do this? Or why is other people not like this? He's isolated in that sense. But once again, that's where you gotta reflect internally and you gotta say, how do I grow from this?
yeah.
If I was given this blessing of maturity, how do I make the most of it?
Hmm.
Honestly, man, run a company, be a CEO. If you have that mindset that you have that maturity and that mindset, that's what your drive should be. You're different from other 22-year-olds. Life could be a dream. Is life a dream, Lynn?
Man, I
Are
don't
we
have the
dreaming?
answers to
Are we in
anything.
a
I have none of
simulation?
the answers. None of them. Okay.
I'll tell you one thing: life does go quickly. Oh man,
It
it goes by
does. The
so
years
fast.
fly by, especially when you see people younger than you reaching certain
Hmm.
milestones. It kind of puts it into perspective of like, damn, like these years are
Yep.
flying by.
And that's what I was
A
gonna say.
younger
Especially
sibling
like when you
graduating,
become
a
a
younger
parent.
cousin, becoming a
Hmm.
parent, like just seeing like in our youth them going through certain emotions is like shit.
Or just being a parent, like seeing your
Yeah.
child, going through the life cycle, of a child and realizing, oh my God, you're a teenager now. Where did all
Hmm.
that time go by? It's like
Right.
life goes by quick. So could it be a dream? It could. You know what's crazy when people say like, "Oh, I saw my life flash before my eyes,
Hmm.
right before I was dying." Could that be what we're living right now?
That flash.
Yeah, like we're already dead, we're dying, or we're dead. We're at that moment, and we're just seeing that right now.
It's taken quite a while. Like
Nah, it
we're
goes by
dying
quick.
slowly, is what you're saying?
You
Holy
think
crap.
it slowly, but we just
No,
said
no,
time goes by
no.
quickly.
I think that um like we are capable of being, present in a moment. So those moments that we are present and we're experiencing it, the sights, the smells, the taste, but whatever it is that we're fully embracing, it's in those moments that, it snaps you back to reality. Like, dude, like this is our reality right here. Like this is happening. This is your life. So no, it's not just a
Hmm.
flashback. It's not just, oh, we're dying and we're looking back. No, I'm here. I'm feeling it. I am present.
Okay.
And
That makes sense.
there's the fact that you still have a choice. You still get to choose and like make choices every day. You get to determine like what path you're on, where your path will go. So how is it just a flashback if we're able
Can you
to
imagine? Can you
change it?
imagine it's a flashback and like you're just like, yo, remember that moment? I wish I could have changed it. And we're living it and we still do it anyway. Like, no, dumbass, no, I wanted to change it. Why are you doing that? Don't go down that road. What are you doing? That's the whole point of this. But it's like it does. But think about it. Like when you're in the moment, like the only thing I could think of is like, when you're in a car accident,
Hmm.
right? And that moment in the car accident, you're like, oh no, and it's like it just happened so quickly, and then boom, you're in an accident, right? And you're just
Yeah.
replaying it, like, man, that moment happened so quick. I didn't have no moment. It just went by so quickly.
Hmm.
Like that, where that whole sense, like I could feel like that's what life is doing.
Mm.
Like it's going by so quickly.
Yeah.
We feel like it's not going by quickly because each day we go, we're present in the moment. But then
Hmm.
when you look back and you reflect, like, oh my goodness, where all the years go by,
Honestly,
and it's gonna
holidays
happen
do that.
again.
Holidays do that, especially like the turn of the year, like New Year's time. That
Mm-hmm.
does it because it's a period of reflection. It's a period of like, shit, we're already X amount of months into the year, or another year gone. And I think that's why traditions are so important, and it's something that I'm working on, because I feel like I'm not really creating those traditions with my children. But I feel like traditions are important because they're the way we measure our years.
Right,
And it's a time to reflect and see, like, oh, well, where we've come, how far we've
right,
come, where are we going?
right. And then, like you say that, look, like we're already like July's around the corner,
Yeah,
so we're
we're halfway through the
2022
year.
is halfway done,
Hmm.
and I'm like, man, I didn't do anything. I'm like, shit, I should have done more. Jeez. And I feel like that every single year that goes by, I always reflect, and I'm like, what could I have done, better? I should have done this. I should have done that. But life keeps on going. Maybe we are in a simulation. That's what I said. That's what I keep saying. Like our memories right now that we're living, that we think we're going through the moments, and we're like this has all been predestined. It's our moment of death, right? And we're just reliving the memories. So all our choices, all the things that we did, we're just reliving it right now. We're just going through the memories, a playbook of all the memories. That's why people say when you die, you see your life flash before your eyes. It's literally you're living your life. Your life. That's what we're doing right now. So yeah, I don't know. It's if we are in a simulation, um, I would like to see some kind of proof that we're living in a simulation because at that point, then I can know, okay, if this is a video game, I've been a gamer all my life. Where's the cheat codes? How do I make this video game play the way I want to make it play? How do I win in this video game? Right? Which I said that years ago to Lynn. I was like, man, if we're in a simulation,
Yeah.
and this was when Lynn first kind of was like, speak into existence, trust the universe, the things you want will be provided. Um, which is funny because Lynn will tell you that she's not religious, right? But the thing she says is the same thing like what my mom says when it comes to religion. Have
Hmm.
faith, trust in the universe. That's what you say.
Yeah.
Mom says have faith, trust in God, right?
Right.
Same terminology, same principle, same concepts. And then me being the analytical one that I can see both sides, I understand what it is. It's trust in yourself, really,
Hmm.
ultimately. Trust in yourself and let go. Have faith in yourself. Trust in your instincts, right? However, when Lynn was trying to get me all on board with all this, I was like, well, then life is like a video game. So then it should be what I want to do,
Hmm.
right? If it's all a simulation, then let me play it like I know how to play on easy mode and enjoy the story and then get on to the next game, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
Yeah, just we're
You
being in
had
a
to switch, yeah.
simulation.
You had to
So we
switch.
we actually did a whole episode on cheat codes and on use the force like Luke.
Well, use a force, Luke. Yes, Yes, that's honestly the Force. But see, but that's the thing, and it's funny that you mentioned that. But there is a religion that all the principles of the Jedi. There is a religion out there that they are sanctioned. They
Freaking people.
are
I love people sometimes.
they're approved by the IRS, and it's like Jediism or something like that, where they believe in the Force and they believe in utilizing the Force, and they study all of that, all of George Lucas writing as far as like, and they go deep. Like there's like various techniques and all that stuff. I mean, they're all that's their religion.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at most religion, they all pretty much say the same thing, right? That we're all connected. There's a bigger universe. There's a creator, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have a bigger purpose, and it's up to us to tap into that bigger purpose, right?
Right.
And like I said, the first part of that purpose is to continue life, right? And then the second part is to evolve to the afterlife, right?
Mm-hmm.
For whatever you may want to believe, I'm not gonna try to impose my beliefs or anything like that. I'm just talking out loud.
So Tadashi went into like our future generations made a simulation to see what choices we made. So he's explaining that we're in a simulation. So our future generations made simulations to see what choices we made, like most of religion says. So God created the world. What if God is a programmer? If you see Asian culture, they say life is Maya.
Yes. And then take it in even further. Now we, I can see where he's going with that. So if God made us in our image, right, now we are creating the next universe, which is going to be the metaverse that we end up creating, right? So it's almost like going a little techie, right? Right. We were God was the programmer, and he created like the very first mainframes, and then it evolved to like servers and all that, and now we are creating the cloud servers that are going to come afterwards, right? And you know how like everything's in the cloud. That's going to be the metaverse, right? So it's means illusion. Oh, that's dope. Now she's throw some stuff out there. I like that. I want to look into that because I like seeing. I don't dive too much into other religions, but I do like seeing the synopsis as far as what they believe. Because, like I said, a lot of religion, the headlines with everything. That's what I do with everything. But they all correlate. They all say almost the same thing, but they say it differently. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The only one that I've noticed that really doesn't say the same thing is which one? It's Jewish religion. I forgot what's the proper terminology to say that.
So maybe day and night could be the sign that we are in a simulation to reduce the stress on the system.
So is that
tell you what, I got up at the crack of dawn this morning. I was up like 4 a.m., left the house around 4:20, and I drove up the mountain to see the solstice. Like today is the first day of summer. It's the longest day of the year, and the sun rose, and it's, I want to say, the southernmost part, maybe the northernmost part. That it will for the year. And, starting today, the sun will slowly make its way back across the other direction.
So what time did the sun come up?
5:25.
5:25. Wow, that's early.
Yeah.
And you said you were already at West Point for that?
Yeah.
So that's like about an hour drive.
About 40 minutes. It wasn't bad.
And so you went to the same place you posted that video of your friend?
No. So I went to a new place this morning. So this was kind of just, it's called like Bottleneck. I don't know if you know it, but it's called Bottleneck. So it's right on the river. You can see like the train, where the train crosses. So I saw a few trains passing. The train doesn't cross the river, but it just, passes by. West Point, I did not see. It was like out of view. It was down the river around the corner. but it was just a little pool off on the side of the road. You know, like how they do like the lookouts.
Yeah.
So there's a really famous one. There was a lot of like tags there. There was a lot of graffiti. There were a few photographers there taking some photos. Some dude came over and was doing like card readings. He was like asking people to pull his cards. It was a nice morning. You know, everyone was there celebrating the solstice, the
Interesting.
first
Interesting.
day of summer.
So
But I
going
know
back
like
to
a lot of religions too, like they make emphasis about, you know, things that are similar to the sun. So even with Christianity, the way, you know, God, I can't even talk about Christianity like this. I know my mom would be like, "Oh, I'll tell you exactly what book, what passage, all that." But so there's a correlation between Jesus and the sun, where like Jesus fell, he rose 3 days later. There's a time in the year where the sun goes down and there really is no daylight for 3 days. I want to say it's like the northernmost part of the world or something like that. Um, right, that's where they have like the northern lights and everything is like the North Pole.
yeah.
Yeah,
What is
so
it?
over there, like
40
there's a
hours.
point where you can't see the sun for 3 days, and after 3 days, the sun rises again. And there's a lot of you know, research on that being the same as Jesus passing and then rising again. You know, religion, all the religions do kind of correlate, and they kind of follow the same ideas and principles. There's just so much out there that I don't know what to believe. You know, like I don't want to say
It's
like,
crazy
oh, this
because
is the correct religion. No, I'm just going with like what I feel and like that presence that I feel and like just that energy that, you know, you pick up on from other people, from the planet, from the experiences that you have.
so so it's funny because I could see it all in like three different lenses. Like I'll go back to Dashi's comment where it's like, what if we're in a simulation as a programmer? My analytical brain, you know me, I was in IT. You know, I've been in IT for like 20 years. I could see all that. I could be like, okay,
Right.
we go to sleep because we got to recharge. The same way you got to recharge all your electronics, right?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta charge this up, you know, at the end of the night. It makes sense that we go to bed. Like, oh, like I just mind blown. Like, oh, we gotta rest because we gotta recharge the computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, so are we a simulation? Because that's why we gotta go to sleep. We gotta power down and power back up. But then I could see, you know, the whole spiritual side of it because I do feel that connection when you know, I'm out there or I'm in nature or just around people. It's like, you know, the older I get, you know, and this happens, you know, when people start to get older, you start to get more spiritual, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm wondering, is that all in the code? Like maybe they write that in the code. And then no matter what language and no matter what you are, you're gonna eventually gravitate because this is gonna be your end cycle, you know? And like when you see like a dead body, right? You look at the dead body and it looks to me like almost like a mannequin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it looks like a dummy. Like there's no life in there. It's like night and day when you see, you know, somebody who's alive, and even a few minutes later after their death, it just looks completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could tell, like their energy is gone, right? Their life force is gone.
Yeah.
So it's like, what is that? Could it be like, okay, the machine is down, gone from that, and now that's what it is. That's how we look. We're just, you know, these robotic machines.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's all good. I love thinking about all this stuff. And then I told you too. What if? Because all religions, you know, they say that they've been visited by the Creator. So what if the Creator came to us and it was just aliens? And at the time, because we were primitive, we're like, it's an entity, it's God, and then we created all these religions based off it. And then the aliens were like, all right, we're out.
Right.
You know, I told you that too. Like, what if Jesus, you know, he came and he was an alien?
Mm-hmm.
I go down that theory too. Because it's like we don't know. You don't know. So
Right.
you question all this stuff. Now, what do I follow in my heart at the end of the day? I do believe there's a God. I do. I talk to my God. I have a relationship with my God, you know, and I count on my blessings. But that's me. You know, I don't really want to impose anybody impose that on anybody. Because honestly, for the longest part of my life, Ma tried imposing it on me. And I was very
Mm-hmm.
hesitant. I was like, how can you believe? You don't have no proof. And
Yeah.
then eventually, as life kept going through, I realized, you know, to appreciate my blessings. And be it with how you started talking about, hey, trust in the universe,
Hmm.
the universe delivers. And then I started seeing like all this other stuff and correlating the two. And then, finally to the biggest thing where I was like, yo, I'm going to write a check on my mirror for an undisclosed amount. And I will see if it comes true. And sure enough, it came true.
Hmm.
And now I'm like, shit, whatever I want, the universe will provide. You just got to believe. You just got to have faith.
Yeah.
And that's the same faith that people have when they pray. Now, I don't want to be selfish with it. I'm not gonna be like, I want $10 million. Give me $10 million. That's greed. That's negative energy. Don't be greedy. Just get what you need. Sustain. Sustain and maintain.
Hmm.
Sustain and maintain.
Yeah, Tadashi, law of attraction. Exactly.
Exactly.
You just speak it into existence. And you put it out there. You put that intent behind it, that energy out there, and it gets caught, it gets picked up, and it comes right back to you.
So you heavily believe that, Lynn, right? You do believe of law of attraction. You do believe that the universe provides for you. But why don't you
I
believe
do.
that's God?
It's not that I don't believe it's God. I'm very, very neutral.
Very neutral.
I trust what it is. I know that it's there. I don't feel right labeling it with human ideas, human stories, this is what it was. Like a human wrote the Bible. Like, the hell out of here, man.
For
One
the
thing
longest,
people have showed me is that nobody on this earth knows everything.
yes, yes.
So no,
So
like I know it's there. I believe in it. I trust it. But for me to label it with something that like humans created the word God. Like, come on, relax.
yes, but you could also take it a little smarter than that.
Hmm.
You could be like, okay, do you believe that there's a creator? Yes,
Hmm.
then why not have a relationship with your creator?
Right.
If you do believe that the universe provides, so your prayers are being answered. When you make a
Hmm.
prayer, your prayers are being answered. Wouldn't then that tells you that there's somebody answering the call?
I mean, I have a relationship with this energy, with this, just the universe that I believe in.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I just don't label it.
Yeah, and that, like, look, I'm the same way. I'm not gonna go to the church. I feel like there's a lot of hypocrisy in the church.
Hmm.
A lot of people who are not following their own Bible, right? They're not following their own concept. So what I asked you is the way I believe. I do believe. Now, at some point, I came to the realization, like I had that epiphany that I was like, okay, the law of attraction, it does work, right?
Hmm.
Me and you, we've attested to it. Even Tadashi is attested to it. So there's
Hmm.
three people right there that attest. Look, the law of attraction works.
Yeah.
Then I asked myself, like, wait, hold up. I'm doing everything that religion talks about.
Hmm.
Having faith, speak it to existence. That's praying, right? Trusting in the universe, trusting. So I'm like, all of this is what religion talks about.
Hmm.
I just, once again, like you, I say that I don't think man has been able to articulate what is our creator yet. And
Mm.
granted, religion's been around for a very long time, but like you said, it's been written by man, and I don't think they've figured it all out.
Right.
And I think to this day, there's still some magic to it, and that magic we're going to see when we evolve to the next stages of our creation.
Hmm.
That's what I believe. Now, do I follow anything else? No, that's what I do. And Mom gets mad at me. She's like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Mom, who are you to question my relationship
Right.
with my creator? He keeps blessing me, so I must be doing something right."
Hmm.
It's like I have my conversations. I talk to my creator. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Just meditate. Life will be easy and peace. Yes, Tadashi, I'm telling you, you're a
Yeah. You see?
young man way before your time.
Yeah. What if man
And
created God because they needed someone to believe blindly on and keep going? Um,
mhm,
be the God with you. God is with you.
yep.
Hmm.
But
Yeah. But even like going to church for me, I feel like, there is wisdom in it. I learn because it's other people's experiences too. Like they're, expressing what their experiences are, what they're going through. And it can be uplifting, but I'm not drawn to it. I'm not like, oh, I want to go to church. It's just, I mean, even with church, honestly, the singing is corny. Like, I don't want to like sing and dance and praise with you guys. This is weird. It feels very cult like, I don't like it. I don't know.
I think that when you do go to church and there's always something that resonates with you, it's because that was your time to be in church. I don't think you
Right.
always got to go. I don't think that there's a lot of things that like once again, like I said, um, you will get guidance through life if you're open for that guidance. That's the way I
Hmm.
see it. And the more you accept it, the more you embrace it. Mom's putting scripture into the
Told you
comments.
she was gonna know the book, the page, the chapter, everything.
She's putting scripture in there. Like I said, I'm just asking questions. I'm not trying to impose my beliefs on anybody. And it's cool because like Ma's super religious. We have her in the comments. She's posting stuff. And then, a lot of people, everybody else, they're spiritual, but they believe more loosely. And that's
Hmm.
okay. Everybody can believe what they want to believe. What I want to say is and the last thing with this whole religion and spiritual talk is that if you trust it, it will reward you.
Yeah.
You believe it, I believe it, Tadashi believes it, Ma believes it. Ma believes in a different sense, but that's for people that believes. When you have faith and you trust in something more than yourself, you will be provided. You will be blessed. And
Hmm.
when you realize that you will be blessed, count your blessings. So going back to Tadashi, the fact that he feels like he is burdened with being mature, that's a
Hmm.
blessing. That's a blessing. You just got to put yourself around more mature people. So that means that you got to put yourself in a room where you're the youngest guy in the room. Hey, you're nailing it. You're acing it. And I was there for the longest time. When I was up and coming, I was in my consulting jobs. I was the youngest guy in the room. I had people, I was giving presentations, and I had, chief whatever, listening to me, and all these guys, all these people, they were in the mid, at the time I was in my 20s, my late 20s. They were all, in their mid 40s, 50s, and they were all giving me their attention to me. I was the expert,
Right.
and that's what you need to do with your life. You need to capitalize on the fact that you are mature, and keep
Hmm.
rocking that. That's not a, it's not a burden. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
And that's where you got to have that mindset where you got to realize that if you do believe in the laws of attraction, and you do believe that everything you want in life, everything that's happening to you is because it's going to lead you to be a better person, then embrace it all.
Yeah. And even instead of that, oh, it's happening to me, stop asking like, why is this happening to me? And start asking, um, why is this happening for me?
Yeah.
Like just make that switch. Like it's not happening to
Hmm.
me, it's happening for me. It's
I
pushing me to
analyze
grow.
Now I analyze like every bad thing that ever happened in my life. It's slim, there's not
Hmm.
that much, but every bad thing that happened in my life, it's a learning lesson. I look
Yeah.
at it and I'm like, everything that happened, there was a good outcome that came out of that.
Yeah.
When
But that was because of you. That was because, like you have that energy to persevere. You survived whatever,
Is it,
challenges
or
were
is it
thrown
the
at you. You made
blessing?
it over those mountains.
Because like for example, we'll talk about it. When there was diversity hire at my job and she
Mhm.
wasn't qualified for the role, and I hated my job, and I came to mom and I talked to mom. Mom prayed. She was like, I'm gonna pray for you. I'm gonna pray for you. And I was
Mhm.
like, I need to find something. That's what drove me into crypto,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Prior to that, I was trying to day trade. I was trying to day trade on the low, which I wouldn't suggest that's anything. Don't double dip like that. But I was trying to day trade on low. I was like, I need to make money so I can get the hell up out of here.
Mhm.
And she made the, my manager made my life a living hell. Like I feel like to this day I got PTSD from it. Right? I say
Mhm.
that jokingly. It's a joke, but I analyzed the whole scenario and I was like, you know what? It had to happen that way because it pushed me to a realm that I don't think I would have had the courage to go dive into until I felt, trapped, you know?
Right.
And it always seems like when you're pushed up against the wall, right? When you feel like you're that trapped animal, that's
Hmm.
when you push yourself to limits that you're surprised. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, adversary, Oh my God, I got something posing, something,
Yeah.
if you're
Tadashi, if
getting
you're getting
difficulties,
difficulties in your life, you're on the right path. It's like a game, simulation theory.
yes, yes, he gets it. He gets it. And I'm
Hmm.
glad. I love seeing, people that are awakened like that, you know? Because a lot of people they have this victim mentality and they go through life like, oh, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening? Why am I cursed? Why am I cursed? Why am they cursed? And to live life like that, it's sad when life is so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's why
Yeah, you
I
have
don't
to focus
wish.
on the good. You got to focus on the
Mhm.
good. When you focus on the good grows.
Right.
I mean, honestly, we're all going through it. We all have, our own baggage, our own issues, our own turmoil, our own, negative thoughts that are replay in our mind. We all have our demons that we're,
Mhm.
battling, and we all just, we want to survive. That's that instinct
Yes.
that we have in us. It's the survival
Survival.
instinct,
Yeah.
and you can't allow like the bad things that happen to you to just throw you completely off. You have
Correct.
to accept it. Bad shit happens. You have to accept it, and you have to look for a way to keep pushing forward, keep on surviving.
And
Well, what
do
you do?
it
You're gonna sit down
all
and say, "Oh, I give up. That's it. Boo hoo. This is my life."
and do
Like,
it
no,
all
you gotta keep pushing through it.
with a smile on your face and keep that positive energy. And when you see yourself going into that negative energy, you gotta tell yourself that.
Hmm.
It's like I told you, like I don't want to be greedy. I want to maintain my blessings. That's what I want to do. I want to maintain my
Yeah.
blessings. The stuff that the universe provided, I want to maintain that.
Hmm.
So when I see the markets going down and I see talks of a recession, I'm like, okay, well, let me go, let me get a job. And sure
Yeah.
enough, I turned on my LinkedIn profile, and like a week later, I'm getting people calling me. I haven't
Yeah.
really been like really up looking that way. I was like, oh, I got to study up. I was looking at what class I was going to take. I was going to take training. I was going to take a test. I was going to go take another test. I was like, oh, I'm planning on taking two tests, all this stuff. And they're already calling me.
Yeah.
Why? Because that's the universe providing. Like, look, I got you. Here's
Hmm.
adversary, right? You weren't expecting this. And this is how we're gonna get through. And I know I'm gonna get through. I'm gonna be fine. We're all gonna be fine. If you just
Yeah.
believe, trust the process, believe in it, right?
So I missed one of Tadashi's comments. He said there are very less people my age who are interested in such topics. They're all attached to materialistic things.
Yes. And you
And
know what?
that's a sad truth. Like,
Unfortunately,
we're, especially as a society, we're being pushed towards that Western culture of consume, consume,
yes.
consume. You always need more. You always need something better. You always have to replace things. And
However,
it is quite materialistic.
I do believe that materialistic lifestyle that we all are accustomed to will be
Hmm.
the reason why we don't go into a civil war. I think that's the reason why we'll be more open to try to resolve our differences as a society a lot better because we don't want to lose our creature comforts.
Hmm.
You know, it's summertime. We want to go see our big, big blockbuster movies. We want to travel. We're accustomed to that fun lifestyle, and the
Hmm.
fact that any kind of war, um, either domestic or foreign, it as we could see with Russia and Ukraine, whatever you believe in it has an effect on our fun.
Yeah.
So I think me being optimistic, yes, it's unfortunately we are materialistic, and we got to learn how to program ourselves. And I know Tadashi, you said that last time. You're trying to program yourself to be more minimalistic, and that's great. That's a
Hmm.
battle that you're always going to have to go through. You're always going to have to go through that because Biggie said it. More money, more problems. As you progress in life, the more you find yourself, you're always going to be tempted with that materialistic desire. If
Yeah.
that makes any sense, you get a job, you get promoted, you're over here, you're living in a nicer neighborhood now, and then you see,
Hmm.
oh, so and so got a car, oh, let me get a new car, and all. It's constantly that competition, and so at
Yeah.
some point you got to ask yourself, you got to be like, I got to compete with myself. Really, that's ultimately the biggest competition, and that's the most healthiest competition. Is to compete with yourself. Ask yourself, am I growing? Am I being better? Am I being stronger? Am I being, if I'm evolving as a human, as an individual? And when you try to strive for that, you won't chase after the quick gratifications.
Right. I was reading, what am I reading? Oh, Shambhala. It's like the path of a warrior. And, one of the points that I'm really trying to like live into right now is enjoying the monotony of life, like enjoying
Mm-hmm.
the fact that yes, I do have a home and taking pride in cleaning my home. And, like,
Yes.
yes, I do have children and taking pride in, caring for my children and, giving them what they need. And, it's kind of made my focus switch from like, hey, I do want to compete with the Joneses. I want like the newer car. I want a bigger house. I want. And it's allowing me to be, in this season of appreciation and,
Mm-hmm.
taking pride in what it is that I already have.
Yeah, and I see, like, I know, like, for the longest time when we talked, you were like, I don't want to ever go, I don't want to ever work for somebody. We talked
Hmm.
yesterday. We talked yesterday. I was like, Lynn, I gotta get a job. And you're like, so you ready to go back to the 9 to 5? Why don't you find another hustle? And I was like, no, because you
Hmm.
know what? This is what I know. And honestly, I like having, like you always said, that disposable income, right?
Yeah.
I like that. It's like, look, if I was blessed with this brain that can generate that for me, why
Hmm.
I'm running away from that? I just got to do that within my terms. So
Right.
if anything, yes, I needed to leave that last job because I wasn't happy there. It wasn't what I wanted. But now when I pick up this job, if I do pick up this job, right? If I pick it up and I don't like it, I go on to the next and I go on to the
Right.
next. And I started programming my brain to think about when I first started, when I had that hustler mentality, when I was in my late 20s, when I was that consultant in the room and I was the youngest guy in the room, how great that felt, right? And that
Hmm.
started empowering me. Like, yo, you did this once already, Ray. You could do it again, and now you're gonna do it on your terms. That's how you accept this blessing. So I was like, all right, that's how you turn a negative to a positive. That's how you
Yeah.
keep it moving. So are you starting to now get into that? Okay, you could possibly work a 9 to 5 if it's at home and if it's on your terms.
Me?
She's
No.
like, no.
No.
She's
No.
like, no. I told you.
My girlfriend the other day, she's like, her and her husband, they run a food truck. And I don't remember what the exact time it was, but she was like, oh, she's like, you said you need a job, right? I was like, I don't need no job.
No, I don't need no job. Not the job you want me
Like
to
it
get.
came out, it was just a reflex. I was like, that's not what I'm looking for. No, no.
Lynn
I
would
refuse. And you know
honestly,
what?
I'll tell you right
Because
now.
because I was able to draw back and like I know that I can maintain my lifestyle on like pennies basically. I'm like, hell no, I don't want to have to put all that effort in to make, 80K, 100K, 200K. Why? I don't need all that. No, I need something very basic, a little hustle that makes me maybe 6K a month. I'll be happy.
Yeah, you know what? And I thought like that too, but then I was like, I don't know. I feel like I'm not maximizing myself. It's like
Mhm.
if I could do all of this, why not do it?
Yeah.
If I was blessed with the knowledge, and really it is just my knowledge. Like I
Mhm.
am a freaking nerd. I could
You
get
see, but
on
that's your passion. You love it, and that's a way for you to pursue it is by
and
jumping
right.
into a company.
That's what I'm
Like
saying.
if I
Right.
if I found my passion and in order to pursue it, it was working for someone else, I'd be okay with that. It's
And I
not
know
like an
we had
arrogant thing, like, oh, I don't want to work for anybody. No, it's just like, dude, like I want to find what I love to do. And working, for other people, kissing ass and being in customer service, that's not it. I'm not going back to that.
it's funny now he's like, what? You have children? Oh, I thought you were like 25, 24. She still
Dude,
had kids at that age.
my oldest is 14. Well, he'll be 14
She
in
had kids at
August.
that age.
I
So
have a
even she
12
was
year
born by
old. I have
25.
an 8-year old.
Did you
Look,
so wait,
they're
when
all
you were
right there in
25,
my
did you already have
pictures.
two?
They're all up there, my babies.
Yeah, and your second adopted one, I could see him over there too. I swear, my youngest, like you see all her family photos, and my youngest always finds a way in them. I'm like, how did he hijack all these freaking photos? And it's not my other two, it's just always my youngest. Like he's like, it's like he photoshops himself in all your
That's
photos.
hilarious because he's definitely up there. Like those are my babies. This one over here, my three, and Ray's youngest.
Yeah, exactly. It's always in there.
Seriously, you walk around my
Um,
house and I have like all these huge portraits of my babies, and then you're right, your Muppets just like, hi,
mhm.
I'm here.
He's
I'm
always
gonna
there.
take some pictures
Hello.
too.
Look, Tadashi, listen. Like I said, optimism is something that's like my superpower. I'm a mutant, and my mutant powers is optimism. But he's at university studies, and all his friends came in cars, and he came in with a bike. Yeah, but look who's laughing now with gas prices, my guy.
Hell
Who
yes.
wishes they had a bike now,
Look
my
how
guy?
much you're saving on that right there. Like, what? But you know what? That's
Listen,
the key. That's the key to being able to maintain that sense of control is living below your means. Because once you start, hey, let me get to a car payment because I want a nice car. Hey, let me throw this on a credit card because I
now
want to
you're
do
upside
this.
down.
Like you start
Yeah,
getting
now
into
you're upside
debt,
down.
and then you
Yeah.
have to have a job because you have to pay people. Like, you don't want to do
Mhm.
any of that.
However, use that motivation to keep pushing yourself to be better.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're like, man, everybody got a car. I got a bike. It sucks. I mean, gas prices is crazy high right now. So maybe I should be able to afford an electric car. And then the next thing you know, you can afford yourself a Tesla, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
you're motivating yourself, you're pushing yourself, you're doing what you got to do to, obtain that. Remember, you see a lot of people, we see people living their lifestyles, and you don't understand that that's all a facade. Yeah, people can have the nice house and the car, but they're all upside down in debt,
Yeah.
especially now with inflation. Credit cards are going to sky high. That's going to be the next pop, the next bubble to pop, the
Yeah.
credit debt, right? So you got to understand how people present themselves, and the fact that you can still stay humble and still try to live that minimalistic lifestyle and have that maturity. Keep pushing that forward, man. Use that to drive yourself. I know that's what I did because I was like, man, you got this. Oh man, I don't want that. What do I got to do to that? Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm doing now. I'm like, y'all want to maintain my lifestyle. What do I got to do? Let me see
Yeah.
what's popping. Oh, I got
See,
a
for
lot of
me
this.
right now,
I got a lot of that.
I trust that my bills are paid. Like I said, I live below my means. And I'm basically living off of savings. And then I have investments that gives me that sense of security. That dude, I'm not gonna lose my job in a month. I mean, I'm not gonna lose my house in a month because I can't make a payment. But my first step was to kind of reduce all my costs, make sure that I had like, bare minimum. Like when I bought my house, I went with something that was, half the price of what the bank told me to that I could borrow. When it came to my car, like I can't stand my car. Every other day I'm complaining about my car, but I it's something that I was comfortable as far as the payment. Like I don't want a $500 car payment. And like right now, if I had a
Lynn, Lynn,
$500 car payment, I wouldn't be able to afford gas.
if
So,
there's one
it
thing
is
that
that
I gotta
humbleness
admit,
of being able to pull back and saying, hey, what is it that I need
mm-hmm,
rather than, ooh, what do I want? Like, you're not a
yeah,
kid in the candy store. And the education part is so important. Like you're doing your university studies and you're like, you're learning. For me, like I'm not working right now, so I am doing different courses that are just interesting to me because I want to keep learning. I want to keep, using my brain. I don't want to just be a couch potato.
mm-hmm. So you know what I don't understand though is like you, um, like I said, you're very analytical, right? You are smart, but I never
Mhm.
understood why you never try to like push yourself to that, to learn something or do something that actually utilizes all that. Like you've always just tried to hustle, which I
Mhm.
look. Granted, I love that hustle mentality of yours. Like you're always looking for that quick. Like you said yesterday, why don't you try to do something when? And I'm like, because I don't really have that hustle mentality. When it does come to that hustle mentality, it's me, you know, uh, using this, right? Turning on the computer, studying what I need to study, and then hustling my way into a job.
Mhm.
Like that's the only way I know how to do it. It's because my whole life, technology, I was a nerd. I know how to apply that. I
Mhm.
know how to make that money like that. But I could tell people that all every day, all night, say, hey, look, you want to make 150K? Learn this, and most people don't want to learn that.
Right.
Like I told my buddy, my buddy, I have a friend who's 27. And I was like, bro, if you really want to make 150K, I got you. You couldn't be making this, as soon as you pass the cert. But I know it's grueling, and you're not gonna want to do it because a
Mhm.
lot of people find technology boring. But there's a high demand for technology, right? because we all use it. So it's like one of the biggest fields right now, cloud security, or even not just cloud security, cloud computing. Anything with cloud computing. Any of the big three, you get that certification, you're making 100K, 150K.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who has that inclination to want to learn Google Cloud, Amazon Cloud, or Microsoft Cloud, you get that certification, you're making that kind of money. Salaries are out there, jobs are out there in abundance. But not many people want to do that. That's why the jobs are out there.
Right.
So that's why I was always like I think you could do it, but you don't want to do that. Like you're smart to do it, but you don't have that
It's boring.
inclination for it. Yeah, you're like it's boring. Not me. I was like, yo, I don't know. I've been troubleshooting all my life. It's something I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Even when I was in the Marines, I was doing everything electronics on helicopters, and it's like, hey, we got a problem. It's like that whole mindset of troubleshooting. That's where I learned that whole analytical mindset. So I'm constantly doing that my whole life. Every problem, I'm like, how do I figure out the solution for this problem?
Yeah.
That's just how I'm wired, though.
Yeah. I mean, I'm good at logistics. I'm good at like seeing things, like look at the big picture and trying to like move parts and, put things where they need to be. I'm good at customer service. I know what people want to hear. I have great training in that.
I think you would be a great personal assistant for somebody.
Yeah, I don't
And
want to
there's
do
a
that.
lot
I don't
of
want to be
jobs
somebody's
like that.
assistant.
No, like at a
Then
high
I have to
level.
be responsible for making sure they're all there, like dates are in their calendar. Hell
That's what
no,
you
too much
do,
responsibility.
though. It's like, hey, sir, we had a call. So and so wants to meet you. Like some CEO, and you're their personal assistant, and you're making six figures just scheduling for them,
Mhm.
taking calls. I'm like, well, he's at a current meeting. It's like, sir, so and so wants to meet you. Should I bump this meeting? That's it. That's all you do. I think you'd be great at that. Like you said, you have people skills.
Mhm. There's a lot of things that I would be great at that I don't want to just be great at something. I want to do something that I enjoy, and I haven't found that yet. And I'm like really blessed to have this period of my life where it is a turning point for me, where I can take my time and decide, what it is that I want to do going forward. Because, it's not like I'm not going to do anything with the next 30 years of my life. What the hell am I going to do for 30 years? For the next 40 years, the next 50 years?
Here's the question I got for you. Because you started this journey a lot sooner than I did. I'm just in it, and I'm like 7 months in. I'm like, this shit is boring, and I know myself because I opened up OneNote the other day, and I got great ideas.
Yeah.
I got tons of ideas, but I never know how to put it, pen to paper to, something realistic. That's all it ever is. It's just ideas, and I see the same in you. Of course, you're my sister. I see the same in you. You have these great ideas. You don't ever act on them. So at some point, and you had the comment. You asked me, and now I feel like I came back the other way. You were like, "Oh, I need structure. I need this. I need discipline." And I was like, "No, enjoy your life. Enjoy it. You got freedom. You're blessed." And now, fast forward a couple of months later, I'm like, "Bro, I'm bored as hell. I'm bored as hell. Like I wake up and I'm like, oh my god, the monotony I didn't want to do anymore. I'm doing it now. I'm like, I gotta change up. I need something. I need that structure. A job will give me that structure."
Right.
Now, now fast forward a year later, I'll be like, I hate this job. I need to get another job. Of course, that's how we are. But it's like, I don't know. Like you say, you feel you have a calling for something greater, but you're not taking action for it.
Right. And you know what? I'm not rushing into something, and it was bothering me for a while. I was like, dude, I'm not doing anything. I feel like I'm not making any progress. There's no growth. And I've accepted that I'm in a period of rest. And I started talking about it a couple months ago. I feel like I'm coming out of it. I feel like I'm finding my motivation and I'm finding my focus, which is really nice. And that's why I'm taking some courses now, and I'm starting to, pursue that education piece again, because I had to accept the fact that I was in a period of rest. And, for me to just go, like I was working for Enterprise for 7 years, and I was doing mandatory overtime, mandatory 48 hours until I made management, and then went up to 52 hours, concurrently raising 3 kids. Like I've had no time to stop, pause, reflect. And that's where I have been in this journey, and in the time where, I have the comfort that I need. I'm comfortable right now. My children are comfortable. So now I'm able to really look at things and say, hey, where
So
do I want to go next?
Fuzz said Lynn would be a great interior designer.
That's
And I
hilarious. See that all you've
100%
seen was
agree.
like 3 of my rooms.
I 100% agree. And I would even bounce on that. I would say Lynn would be a great photographer. Lynn
Hmm.
would be a great party organizer. Lynn would be a great arts and craft instructor. I don't know what you want to call this, like 5, 10, but you know what? Lynn doesn't have the motivation to do that. Unless
Right.
somebody grabbed Lynn's hand and said, "Hey, let's do this," she's not going to start her own business. She doesn't have that fire. And like I said, I had great ideas when I opened up my OneNote, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was seeing notes from like years ago, and
Hmm.
and I'm reading it's my own handwriting. I don't remember taking these notes. It's my own handwriting. I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing ideas." I had one. You remember that Google Glass thing? Remember the Google
Yes.
Glass? I had like 5 projects I had developed. I was like, yo, I'm gonna do one where it's a teleprompter and the person is talking a speech through the whole class. I was like, yo,
Hmm.
there's one where the guy could do a power presentation and he could cast it and he's going through the presentation to the Google Glass. I was like, what? I was like, yo, this is all great ideas. Of course, Google Glass was a dud, but I was like, yo, that was me putting pen and paper, coming up with these great ideas. But once
Yeah.
again, I have no follow through. And you're the same way. You could do all these things. You could watch all these YouTube videos thinking about, yo, I want to do this, all this stuff, but you have no follow through. So then, once again, I ask yourself, why it's so bad to work a 9 to 5 if we're not that type of people.
Hmm.
We have
Because I know I
imagination.
have
We
it in
can be
me.
very imaginative and creative. We just don't have the will and desire to see our creations come to life.
I think that I do have it in me, and I know I am going to find success. And it's just a
Challenge
matter of
accepted.
accepting. It's accepting the season that I'm in.
All
But let
right,
me tell
chat.
you,
You see this?
when
You
I
see this?
do
You
like
got to hold her
choose something
accountable.
and say this is it, like it's gonna be amazing and it's gonna grow, it's gonna flourish, it's gonna happen quick, and that's in my future.
We got to hold her accountable then because I will see it. We'll see it.
So Tadashi wants you to go into cloud computing a
Yes,
little
I
more.
saw that, and I wanted to go ahead and close on that. Tadashi, I will quickly go through it, but if you want to email us at siblingrivalry@gmail.com,
It's in our
I'll check
about
my
me page.
emails.
If you hit about on the
Yeah,
channel, you'll see our email.
any questions you have, I'm more willing to help. Google GCP, that's the first one, so it's Google Cloud Platform. That's Google's version. There's a whole free version where you can go and you can set up your own machines and everything. It's all based on how technical. If you feel like you know computers, you know IT, you've always had a drawing for it. I don't know what you're going for school, but it's all IT based. But everything is on the cloud. As you I don't know, your Android phone, your iOS, your Apple phone. Everything is pushing towards the cloud, right? There's cloud management with like all of our photos and everything's on there. So there's cloud services, cloud infrastructure, cloud servers, cloud applications. Everything's moving to that. Amazon has theirs. It's called AWS. And if you look at like GCP certs, AWS certs, there's the entry level one, which is just like a practitioner where you're just going in, doing things, and then it goes all the way up to the top tier, which is engineer, architect. There's the security track that you can go down where you're actually applying security within the cloud. So all this stuff is it's all popping. You can take a look at the title. That's what I do. This is what I do. I take the title of like GCP engineer or GCP analyst, right? And then I'll take that title and I'll put salary, and then it shows you what the medium salary is. You can start looking at LinkedIn, Monster. What's the other one? Indeed. There's one that actually there's startups that are looking for a lot of these experience, and they pay a lot more because they're startups. There's a risk with startups, but you're young, you can get fired and get rehired like that. So definitely take a look at all that stuff. That's like when I first started, the big thing was security, computer security. Now it's cyber security, right? So that's where I did all of almost all of my career was in cybersecurity, but now everything is evolving to this cloud. So that's where I'm going back, on my free time later on today. I'm gonna be studying Microsoft's cloud because most infrastructures are Microsoft. So I'm trying to learn that and incorporate that with my security experience. So I'm saying a lot. I'm trying to throw a lot out there. Like I said, email us if you have any questions. I'm more than glad to help somebody who wants to get paid.
I started doing the Google Cloud Computing. So basically you go through, it's like a bunch of modules and like they teach you, it's like a little class. And then they give you like little quizzes to make sure you're understanding the stuff. And then once you get through a certain amount of modules, you take an exam. And once you pass an exam, you become certified in it. And then you can go ahead and,
and then
apply for them. Yeah. So it's basically like online learning, like self.
Yes. It's all,
online class.
You got to be self-motivated. You got to self-understand it. That's what I'm saying. Like Lynn said, it's dry. It's boring. You got to have the desire to be techie or desire to be rich. Either or. Whichever one desire you have, you got to have that in there to keep going. I know Coursera, there's a course. It's, I believe it's like $50 a month for Coursera. So depending on how long you take it, but you can go through the full course. And the one that's Google, it's actually designed by Google. So Google actually has, their engineers that are now instructors that are giving the visual lessons. And all of the lab work you could do on the cloud. You can start setting up. And those will be interview questions. So if you're trying to get a cloud engineer job, they're going to ask you, what's your lab? And you could say, well, I have this set up, I have this set up, I have this set up under my account, on the cloud. So that's a real high level. I'm throwing a lot at you. I know I am. As far as which track you want to go, because that's the big question right now. Everybody's like, should I go with Amazon? Should I go with Google? Should I go with Microsoft? It's whichever one you want to go at this point. They're all in high demand at this point. And eventually what you want to do is you want to be well-rounded. You want to say, I know it all. That's where you make the big buku dollars.
Especially with everything going towards this metaverse and everybody's going to have to play nice together and knowing all of them. It's a huge advantage.
It is. But it saves, if you look at the business side of it, right? When you're a company, it saves so much money when you do move your infrastructure to the cloud. There's just a lot of ways to, you got to understand how to facilitate that. So where you have, a user, trying to connect something at the endpoint, they're not reaching your local servers, they're reaching something in the cloud. You got to make sure all of that flow and that traffic all works, right? So it's a lot to take in. Like I said, you got to have that desire for it. Lynn tried, which I commend her. She tried. She looked at it because I sent her. It was like a 90-day challenge. I was like, you could be making this much. And I fed her the line, you could be making this much. And she had took the 90-day challenge and she failed. But I get it because it's not her desire. She understands it. It's just she doesn't have the drive and the hunger to do it.
Oh my God. I start reading through. Next thing I know, I'm yawning. I'm like, oh my God, I need a nap. It's horrible.
It is.
Jeez. It is. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of our show, The Couch Show. Thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. And thank you always for being in the comments, man. You guys are always, you're vibing with us. You're having this conversation with us. And that's kind of cool. We're not just talking at you, So thank you guys. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Happy hump day tomorrow. Ray, any closing words?
Are we doing a Thursday show? Or are you out?
Yeah, we'll be here Thursday.
Wait, all right, we'll do the Thursday show. I know I'm hitting the road this weekend, and then you're out next week, right?
I leave on Saturday. Yeah, so next week I'll actually be out of the country. I'm going to DR. So TBD if I can actually have a good solid internet connection.
Let me know if you, I know you're on vacation, but if you want to do the show and show where you're at, we could do it remotely. Message me and let me know. I might have to figure out. I'm guessing. Oh no, because you're on your phone right now, right?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
So you're talking about a bunch of technical shit. Let's close out the show. What are you doing?
Yeah. All right, yeah.
All right, guys. I'll see you next time.
Love you guys. Love you guys. See you on Thursday.